ChatGPT tells us how the Democrats can win in 2028. So Jeremy has no idea what this entire topic is. So here's the topic. We're going to figure out how the Democrats can win in 2028. But here's the twist. All the ideas have been suggested by ChatGPT. So every single one of these ideas, we're not debating each other. We're going to debate ChatGPT. So are you ready for this?
I think I have to say, this has been our relationship for 20 years now. Seth will be like, hey, here's something completely out of the blue. What do you think about it? And I'm on the spot to come up with something right away. So I apologize now, but this is literally the way we are.
So you ready?
As ever.
All right. Number one suggestion by ChatGPT. Get back to economic populism. Do talk about unions, antitrust, and fighting corporate consolidation. Don't sound like you're lecturing people about privilege while they're choosing between rent and groceries.
Well, my first thing is, and there's going to be a lot of people that hate me for this, but I don't love unions. I think that the principle and idea of unions is great. Don't get me wrong. I think somebody fighting for the little guy is a good thing. The problem is it's just like everything else in the world. Power corrupts. And you get these people that don't want to lose their position, don't want to lose their office, want to gain more money.
Well, I'm in a union. You're in a union. And you know what the union's number one job is? To keep the people that are working in the union working for the union. It is not the membership. Union leadership is concerned about themselves and their paycheck. You're incidental.
You know, I had a turning point for unions. I didn't used to feel this way, but it was back in the grocers union strike a billion years ago. It was Christmas time. It was pouring down rain in California. I think it was Christmas Eve, or it was the day before Christmas Eve. I think it was Christmas Eve, actually. And there were people that were striking, and they were striking there. And I just seen the news that day, and all the union leaders were all going to take 2 weeks off of negotiations to be with their families, and showed them getting in their Mercedes and all these high.
Oh yeah, I remember that. They were getting in these really expensive Mercedes and BMWs. Meanwhile, the person that worked at the grocery store is in a broken down Chevy, standing in the rain for 2 weeks, waiting for the leadership to come back from vacation.
And that was the thing. And as I walked in, they said something about how could you cross the line for this? Well, first of all, it was the only grocery store around. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Drive, find some other place miles and miles and miles away? But second of all, I looked at him and I said, how does it feel knowing that the people that are supposed to be fighting for you just took 2 weeks off and left you out here for 2 weeks, including tomorrow? And I didn't mean to rain on their parade, no, almost literally. But you could see it. It clicked in their eyes. And when I said it, and me, I'm kind of a sarcastic jerk. I didn't really mean to hurt them, but it actually hurt me too. It was like, yeah, wait a minute. Why? I've always struggled with unions. In construction, we have 85% of jobs are not union. So if I'm going to tell all of my kids to go for union jobs, I'm telling them to ignore 85% of the jobs.
Well, here's the other thing. Besides just showing up every couple of years saying, support us because, you need to support us, who is really individual, who as a politician has really worked hard to reach out to those unions that exist and say, look, I want to bring jobs back to America. Where are the unions really starting to shift to? Who are they really starting to support little by little?
The conservative, the Republic.
The Republicans, Trump.
Yeah, and that makes sense. If you're not going to buy in the United States, it doesn't matter if it's unionized or not.
Number two from ChatGPT, how to get the Democrat Party to win. Simplify and sharpen the message. Republicans excel at short, punchy slogans. Build the wall, drain the swamp, make America great again. Democrats tend towards policy complexity and bureaucratic jargon. They need to reclaim emotional clarity, which I think is funny because I think the arguments from the left are only emotional. Do frame things like the freedom to retire. freedom to raise a family, freedom to choose. Don't build platforms that sound like legislation titles. What do you think about freedom to retire?
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like somebody's like, and I don't want to drive it this way, but it just sounds like something you'd have heard like in 1930s, 40s.
When you're doing like
Germany,
16 hours a day.
France, oh, the freedom to retire. It almost sounds like, wasn't I free to retire before? Why are you telling me I can now? Oregon's full of people that retired at 21. You have the freedom to retire anytime you want.
I mean, we're teachers. We literally, just like any other profession, we could walk into the front office, say, you know what? I'm leaving right now. I'm done. Goodbye. And while they can hold your credential for the rest of the year, you pretty much can leave. You're done. If you work for any business, you work at Amazon, you could walk in, tell the boss what you think of them, and say, I'm gone. Mm-hmm. You have the freedom to leave anytime you want. So I don't get this.
Well, I feel like they're trying to get a population that doesn't understand that they're free.
Number 3, invest in local and state races year-round. Democrats tend to focus on presidential and high-profile Senate races, while Republicans dominate school boards, city councils, and state legislatures. That's where cultural war narratives are built and turnout machines are tested. Solution: permanent local infrastructure, not just parachuting in money during election years. All right, so being that we're teachers, I'm most interested in the school boards. So let me ask you, Jeremy, do school boards tend to be liberal or conservative?
I hate it when you use that tone. I mean, they tend to be liberal because they tend to have retired teachers. They tend to have people that are like-minded, and education tends to be a fairly liberal world because of the indoctrination that colleges give. And we could go forever on that. But I think it also depends on where you're at. I mean, my school district, it's pretty conservative board. It really is.
Yeah, my school district, very, very, very liberal. But it is a liberal profession.
Yes.
It absolutely is a very liberal
There's
profession.
There's a reason they call it liberal studies.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Oh, and by the way, I just want to point this out. The number one organizer right now, this guy's a national treasure. Don't know if you know him. It's a guy named Scott Pressler. He's a former Democrat. He is gay. He is the number one person driving Republican registrations in states like Pennsylvania. He is a fantastic human being. And it was funny because he starts out as a Democrat, like many people do. Mm-hmm. And he starts looking at the policies going, okay, well, I agree with the gay policies, but everything else, the other side is right. And I'm sorry. It's like, where do I really need the government? I need them to get out of the way so I can make money and have a business. And he has been a fantastic organizer. All I see from the left is people like Antifa going out, doing massive riots, not really helping their communities, not really helping their...
Can I tell him now?
Go ahead.
He has this damn hairless cat. And it just looks evil. And it keeps it coming near me. And I don't like cats. I know, I just lost half our subscribers there.
There you go.
And so I'm poking at it, trying to get it to gently leave me alone. And it keeps just scowling at me and getting closer. Oh, that was bad. That was hilarious.
All right, you ready for number 4?
Sure.
Build a big tent for real. Not for fake, just for real. Thank you, ChatGPT. Alienating moderates, independents, or religious voters over cultural issues is self-defeating. You don't have to abandon progressive values, but you do need to frame them in a way that makes space for people who aren't fluent in academic language. Example, instead of pushing to fund the police, talk about safe communities with accountable policing. Okay, what do you think about that? Because I have a serious problem with this one.
Let's go with yours first.
All right, first off, we need to talk down to people who aren't fluent in academic language. I'm going to temper my words here. Go bleep yourself, ChatGPT. Now, I'm very good at academic language because I'm a teacher. I'm an academic. But talk about talking down to the rest of the planet. That's the problem the Democrats have right now. We are the elites. We know what's best for you. So we're going to have to dumb it down. And one thing that every study has shown, when a Republican goes to talk to a certain group, enter whatever group it is, whether they're Jewish or African American or Hispanic or veterans, they have seen that Republicans walk in and talk exactly the same to each group. Democrats will change how they talk, raise it up or dumb it down based on what they think of the group. So this is more elitism, but what do you think?
I've always felt that. I've always felt that when you talk about Democrats, when they go to talk to somebody, they're always changing the narrative to fit whatever room they're in. I've always joked that, most honest, good people in the world only have one view, and they'll share that view forever. And it seems like Democrats tend to just, hey, what's going to get me the most likes today? Where conservatives or Republicans will turn around and go, you know what, this is what I believe. And if you don't like it, that's okay. We can have a conversation about that. I don't need you to like me today. I need you to understand me today. And I think that's a big difference.
Now, here's another one. Number 5, modernize the digital game. The right has built an agile, highly online content ecosystem. Democrats lag in fast, emotional content that speaks the language of TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. The fix: fund and amplify left-aligned creators with autonomy, not just polished ad agencies and consultants. So what they're saying is, go out there and get these influencers who are liberal. What do you think about that? That's a great one.
I have a problem with that.
Me too.
Most influencers are small business owners. You're going to have a real hard time finding a lot of small business owners who are liberals.
Oh, I've got more than that.
All they have to do is pay taxes for about 5 years to realize that they want smaller government. So, truth be told, generally, not everybody, but generally, these small businesses, and let's face it, these influencers are armies of one. If maybe they're really big influencers, armies of 10. Or they're hiring out certain companies to take care of their editing or their massaging. We don't do that here. I have Seth. That's all I have.
It's just us. It's literally two guys sitting in a kitchen on a table I really need to replace, going ahead recording on a 10-year-old laptop that really can't do Windows 11. So we're as basic as
we're grassroots.
But let me ask you this. Do you know what the most popular video show, blog, vlog, podcast is in the entire world?
Like a podcast style one?
Yeah. Just sit down and talk.
Rogan?
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it'd be Joe Rogan.
Was he on the left or the right?
I think he started out on the left.
Absolutely. He was radical left.
Yeah.
Where is he now? He's now a Trump supporter. Hey, let me ask
you
this.
He drifted to the right, I wouldn't say pretty quick, but I think, when he started getting out there, I think he was the one that, didn't he say something about...
There was a specific event that he realized he was being lied to from the left. Let me ask you this. The billionaires, the millionaires and the billionaires. Bernie Sanders. Who is the billionaire who was on the left, solid Democrat, and has switched? Who is that?
Well, that was Musk.
Absolutely. Hey, Democrats, you had Joe Rogan. You had Elon Musk. You had Scott Presler. You had so many people. You had me. I was a Democrat for a long time. People are leaving the Democrat Party in droves. And the thing is, you can't just go out and say, oh, we're going to create an influencer. It has to not only happen on its own, it needs to happen where people want to see it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Colbert is being kicked off the air. Actually, his contract is just not being renewed. They're going to keep him on the air.
That's the same thing.
Nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Your ideas are terrible. Let me give you one more. Recruit better, culturally fluent candidates. Republicans often run candidates who, quote, speak the local language, unquote. Democrats sometimes run candidates who feel parachuted in from DC or academia. The fix: support candidates who reflect local values while still holding Democrat principles. Rural districts need ranchers, veterans, and pastors who lean left, not just policy workers from think tanks. What do you think of that?
You're going to have a hard time finding a rancher or a pastor that's going to lean left in rural districts.
Yeah, you are. I mean,
that's going to be a diamond in the rough kind of thing. That's going to be a needle in a haystack kind of thing.
Oh, they absolutely are much more conservative in those areas.
It's because they have to be. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I'm just going to pull one out of my proverbial butt here. Your cows are making too much methane gas. We're going to put monitors on them, and you're going to pay for these monitors, and we're going to screw with your whole ranch for a while. How many ranchers are going to go vote for that?
Well, what ChatGPT seems to be saying is, instead of saying, oh, your cows are bad for the environment, we need to adjust your stock to make it much more eco-friendly. Wouldn't you like to do that? Because that sounds so nice. So far, none of these are working. Oh, there is one last one I do have to throw out. Suggestion 11 from them. Own mistakes, then pivot.
You know what? Owning a mistake might actually get them everything they've ever wanted.
Oh, yeah. Well, here, let me read this. Democrats sometimes refuse to acknowledge policy missteps. Certain COVID mandates, overreaching crime policy, or tone-deaf messaging. This hurts credibility. The fix: say, we got this wrong, then explain how you're adjusting. Voters respect humility and honesty, not denial or blame shifting.
Whoa. Whoa. No.
You take
this. This is government.
Correct.
You can't have ownership and you can't have honesty in government. I mean, that's just completely ridiculous that ChatGPT would even suggest that.
And you know, there are some people who have said, look, I was wrong. I don't think there's anything bad about saying you were wrong and switching policies.
Oh, absolutely not.
I do think what's wrong with this idea is I can't think of anything the Democrats are doing right lately. They're just not doing anything right. If they want to do something right, they've got to cut Pelosi. They've got to cut Clinton loose. Their whole leadership is just a disaster. They need to cut the entire leadership and start from scratch and move back to the middle because they've become so radical left-wing. You know the story of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I didn't leave the party left me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and he's always been an idealist. So even the conservative side doesn't fit what he wants. That's why he wants to create his own little party there.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, the fact that even he was a for the people guy. He was like, no, I want all these kind of dipping your toe in socialism kind of thing. Like electricity should be free for everybody, blah, blah, blah. A lot of actually what Tesla, Nikola Tesla believed.
Yeah. Well, I think one other thing the Democrats have to do, you have to be able to say, you know what? We disagree. One thing I've noticed about conservatives, you're conservative, I'm conservative. 90%, 85% of stuff we agree on. That little bit that we disagree on,
yeah.
I'm sure we could sit down and find a middle ground. With the left, you are left lockstep.
Yeah.
And if you deviate, you are now the enemy, and the left
Yes.
is now eating their own. But you know what I'd really like to have you own? A subscription to teachers and train stations. How can I get one, Jeremy?
There's a little button down there, and it's completely free. All you got to do is push it, and then there's a little like button, and there's a little notification bell button too. Please push all those. It's absolutely free. Hurry and do it, because you know what? In the next 20 minutes, we might start charging for it.
Absolutely. And with that,
we'll see you at the next stop.
we are the elites. We know what's best for you.
I don't need you to like me today. I need you to understand me today. And I think that's a big difference.